Round one, fight.
That was cool.
Wow.
I like it.
Better late than never, but we're here, folks. The Squared Circle Maniac Podcast. If it's Sunday at 4 p.m., you know it must be time for the Squared Circle Maniacs Podcast. I'm Johnny Bottles. We're here with the mayor of Southern California, Motorhead 711. There he is, deep within the bowels of his man cave. And over in sunny, cool, tepid temperatures in Virginia, the lovely and talented Don Wayne.
It is hotter than the devil's ass in this bitch. It is cooking, son.
Well, let me tell you, pal, we're down here in Central Florida. It's as humid as a whale's vagina. I'll just leave it at that, and we won't say any more about that. Let's get into it. Let's talk some wrestling right now. Did anybody watch Monday Night Raw?
I did. I watched almost the whole show. Checked in the next morning, watching it live. It's hard to not watch it live. The next day you get the recap, but you don't feel the fan base if you're not watching it live, I found. So I enjoyed it. Cody Rhodes leading off Raw. Great segment, I thought. The line that he got was, I was acknowledged by Brock Lesnar. I thought that was pretty fitting, man. Like, it's building now. You see where it's going. When he said the line, I was acknowledged. And then out came Seth, right? Seth Rollins come out, which I didn't see that one coming. As a fan, I was like, oh. As a fan, I kind of jumped up a little bit.
Don, I got to admit, when he said, Brock Lesnar acknowledges me, or whatever he said, I forgot the exact verbiage. I thought for sure you would hear Paul Heyman come out and cut a promo on Cody Rhodes about the impending battle between him and the Tribal Chief, but that never happened. Seth Rollins threw a curveball into my lap. Didn't expect that. And I know you love Seth Rollins, but personally, I could do without a babyface Seth Rollins. Great wrestler. Dude. The gimmick is horrendous. I think he's only over because of the song. But that's the way I feel. Then again, some people like, some people like ketchup on their hot dogs, and some people don't. So it is what it is.
I like the segment. The boots. I saw so much shit online about the boots he was wearing. Why is that style of boot suddenly in play? The moon boots, as I call them.
Yeah, I never did care for that. The first guy I remember ever seeing wear those boots was Lance Storm. You guys remember when he had the moon boots like that back in the day?
No. I don't remember that.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah,
the first guy I saw wearing them hideous ass things was Kanye West, so I knew they were shit.
Yeah,
I knew they were shit immediately.
They're based on a Japanese anime, a Japanese cartoon, and
what the hell is it called?
I don't know. A lot of people wear them for cosplay when they go to conventions and stuff like that. They dress up as a favorite character. That's how it all started. Now, Crocs, the Crocs company, is making a version of those boots.
God, that figures.
Yeah.
Do you know how Crocs? Do you know where Crocs first appeared?
No.
Idiocracy. That movie, Idiocracy. If you've ever seen it, it's a throwaway comedy where in the future everybody's a complete and total dumbass, kind of like a lot of the AEW fan base. And they wear these shoes, and they thought they were so stupid that no one would ever wear them. And here we are almost 10 years later, and every idiot off the streets got them on.
Man, my daughter has like 5 pairs. So she has Crocs and like cowboy boots. Seriously, man.
Dude.
And I see some of these ladies around here like go to the fair and stuff like that, and they're wearing like shorts and those damn Croc cowboy boots.
Hideous.
I've worn a pair of Crocs before. I bought them at the Dollar General.
Were they comfy?
They're very comfy, but 6 months later they crack in the sole. You'll start to like get little rocks and sand and stuff in the sole of your shoe. You think, what the hell's going on here? Then you bend it, you can see the whole bottom of it's cracked in half.
Oh,
Just normal wear and tear. They're cheap. I mean, the ones I bought, they were
So
dollar
back
store
to-
Crocs. But anyway,
Back to Seth Rollins and his moon boots. And then the next part of the show was my favorite part of the show because out came the Judgment Day. Am I the only one that thinks that group is super over? I love everything about that group.
They're super
I like the little.
they are
They,
definitely over.
I love them. The little bit of inner turmoil they got going on between the two alpha males. You've got Rhea Ripley, who I'm so tired of hearing the internet wrestling community. She's not wrestling enough. She's a star. She doesn't have to wrestle in the ring all the time. You've got to make an opponent that's worth her time. She's in the middle of the biggest men's angle in WWE Raw right now. Why would you waste your time with an undercard female wrestler?
people don't realize that with a multiple person scenario feud in wrestling, they have what's called the heater. And if you recall, when Eddie Guerrero would come to the ring, he had Chyna with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Chyna was mommy. He would call her mommy.
That's right.
And he was also, his finishing move was the frog splash. So Dominic Mysterio is following in the footsteps of his uncle Eddie, by doing everything that he did, calling her mommy, insinuating they have a sexual relationship. And she's the heater. She gets the heat and talks shit about the fans and how great Dom is. And all he's got to do is put the microphone up to his lips.
And they go crazy.
And they
They
go
just
nuts.
come unglued.
They go nuts.
Eat it. Yep. They go after him.
Yep, absolutely.
And then I saw on Raw Chad Gable one, which I'm going to tell you, I don't know what's going on with Chad Gable, but something's happening there, and it's not overwhelming yet, but there's murmurs in the fan base. You know, you can hear it when you watch live. Something's happening with that guy. The people are getting behind him. I don't know why. I mean, just like you don't like the Seth Rollins thing, I hate the shush shit, but they're behind him.
When Vince was the booker, he didn't see anything in Gable. In fact, Gable was known when he was a singles as Shorty G. You remember that period? For like a year, he was called Shorty G. And Shorty Gable. He just shit all over Gable. He didn't like him because he was too short. But the guy is like he's a 5'6" Kurt Angle. He really is. He's on par skills-wise with Angle, and he's ripped. He could talk on the microphone. What got him over is when Triple H first took over a year ago, or a little over a year ago, the booking, because Vince was in the hot water that he was in with paralegals and all that. But anyway, he gave Gable a chance to talk. Gable actually had a microphone and walked to the ring with Otis and cut promos. Thank you, the shush, shush, please. All that started back then, a little over a year ago. And he was golden on a microphone. Everybody's going, how come they never let the guy talk before? Now he can cut promos. He's a funny little bastard. And I dig it. And he said that he'd like to have... He said in an interview he'd like to have one good singles run. And I think that if he doesn't beat Gunther, he's going to come close to it.
Really? Get the hell out of here.
I think he'll come close to beating Gunther, but he won't get it. But Gunther will shine him up like a diamond.
Is he going to go through?
We're
going to get a disqualification out of it.
You might have shenanigans. You might have shenanigans, but
shenanigans. I'm thinking.
Yeah. Shenanigans.
They're also high. They're also high in Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah, I saw that. I read that this week, man.
Yes, they're very high on Ludwig Kaiser.
And the truth is that if he hadn't have been in this faction with Gunther, I don't think that guy gets over, man. This is all getting him attention in a really positive way. And for some reason, he's starting to shout on that guy too. Wrestling's getting hot again, man. It may never be what it was in the late 90s and the 80s, but it's got an audience again. I'll say that much. 1.3 on Raw is no longer a thing. They did what, 1.85 this week or something crazy like that?
That's right around where they've been hitting. 1.88, 1.89, down to 1.82, I think, was the lowest so far. They're right in that. That's their sweet spot. They need something that's going to push them over. They need a hot angle that they can come up with to push them over the edge. And the guys in Endeavor want to think Endeavor, folks, is the company that's buying the WWE. They're going to finalize that sale by the end of the month. Endeavor is looking for thinking outside of the box creatively. And utilizing the people that they've got instead of hiring more, pushing underused, undervalued stars like a Chad Gable and seeing what they can do with him. Not everybody's got to be 7 feet tall.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
But you can't have but you can't have a room full of Mickey Mouse guys though either. Like you've got to have
Cassidy's. You can't have a room full of Orange Cassidy.
Shush! We're not going there. We're not even the frickin' AEW. It was a shit show enough as it is. I'm not getting worked. I'm not getting worked up over this. And then I saw.
I'll make a deal with you. I won't call him Orange Cassidy anymore. I'll take a page out of Taz's book. I'll call him Breakfast Drink Jones. How's that?
That's fine with me.
Breakfast Drink Jones.
I saw Nakamura got a win. Nakamura's back on TV.
Nakamura's getting a push.
Yes, he is.
The next challenger for Seth Rollins.
That's what it's looking like, which is where we're headed to. I saw that Ludwig beat Otis, which I didn't quite get that, but it was Ludwig, right?
Ludwig did beat Otis, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
With shenanigans, but
yeah. And then
Otis,
saw
Otis is over. Over doesn't need a win. Otis doesn't need a win. He's over.
Yeah, I know, but whatever. I saw that the New Day was back.
Boring.
Yeah,
boring. They beat the Viking Raiders. Kofi Kingston, who weighs about $145, pinned. Did he pin Ivar or was it Xavier Woods who pinned Ivar?
Honestly,
the biggest guy.
The biggest guy came out. Pin. As soon as New Day's music hit, I said, "Nope, bunk this. I'm out. I'll come back in 20 minutes and pray to God this shit's over with." I have no interest in seeing them anymore. That was 8 years ago. I'm over it. Do something else.
Yes.
They need, unless they're selling a ton of T-shirts, which I doubt.
I highly doubt.
They need somebody to come in as a heater. Big E can't wrestle anymore. His doctors already told him. He's done.
I saw that.
He is done. It's the Tyson Kidd syndrome. Remember when I think it was a house show that Samoa Joe, when he was in the organization, the WWE, he wrestled Tyson Kidd, who is now he's the husband of Natty Neidhart. He's also a producer backstage. He does a lot of the women's matches for WWE. And Tyson Kidd took a muscle buster from Samoa Joe, and he had an internal decapitation, which means his skull got disconnected from the top of his neck, and they had to wire it up, put steel plates and screws in. He's because they've got such a crack medical team at the WWE working for them now, he wasn't paralyzed.
Damn. See, I never knew it was that.
It was that.
I never knew it was that. I never knew it was that bad. I just know that he would never wrestle again once that was over with. They told him, "You're done, son."
They said, if you get in the ring again, you'll never walk again. You'll be paralyzed from the neck down. And the same thing almost happened to Big E. He broke that very last connective joint, connective piece of vertebrae that connects to your skull.
Right.
He cracked that. And it could happen again. He had it fused.
The thing is, though,
plates.
That guy's so damn big, man. I mean, he's a big, muscular guy, and I'm sure that helped. But now that he's got all that damage, you got to think he's going to have to come off and come down on the weight as far as the bodybuilding and whatnot to make that a little bit more easy for him in his day-to-day life moving forward. You can't keep bench pressing 425 on Saturday for fun. Right. Not when something like that happens.
Weight to carry around them bones, man. And you guys know what I do as you get older, things start to go away. You know, that guy's got a lot of meat to pack around.
Yeah.
They'll have a job for life. They'll take care of it. Yeah. Vince is good at that kind of stuff. So is Triple H.
Hey, pal, I'll take care.
Do you want an intern job? I did see New Day, not New Day, but I saw that Judgment Day supposedly beat up Sami Zayn back there. And then Shinsuke Nakamura gets put in the main event. So he's got 2 matches in one night. They have the show. Sami Zayn interferes at the end. And then out of nowhere, Nakamura kicks shit out of Seth Rollins. Just, here's your face. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Who saw that coming?
I did not. I did not.
I definitely.
That's a great thing about wrestling. That's a great thing about wrestling when you're watching the show. A surprise.
That was good. Yeah, very good.
One of the few surprises you get on Raw anymore, but it was nice. I feel like the Judgment Day is, they're carrying the company in my opinion right now. Cody Rhodes is there. He's the main event star. Mm-hmm. But you've got to have the Judgment Day get to a main event angle here soon. They've got to start. That big bastard has got to start fighting for the heavyweight title here before it's all said and done. You got to, because the next you got Payback coming up next month. What is in October this year? Does anybody know?
Don't know offhand.
I do not know offhand.
Yeah, I'll look it up for you while you're talking.
Are they going to bring back Scott Steiner and have another October Showdown Halloween Havoc via Scott Steiner? Let him come out there and bring back Scott Steiner and do some funny math. I'd watch that.
It's going to be Rick Steiner versus Chucky.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I'll do it either way.
Here's the pay-per-view. The only pay-per-view they have in October. Saturday, October 7th, will be WWE Fastlane from Indianapolis, Indiana. And then after that, they've got almost a month and a half build to the Survivor Series.
So, yes, the Survivor Series, as we all know, is one of the big four. So, thought Raw was good. What was your takeaway from it, Johnny?
I thought it was just there. I thought it was just a...
Really?
Yes. I thought it was just there. I like the...
Son of a...
I like the Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins tension. I did like that. The Nakamura thing at the end of the show was fantastic. The Judgment Day, as long as Ripley's involved, is always good. If you take Rhea Ripley away, they're blasé as far as I'm concerned. Priest doesn't need a fight for the heavyweight belt right now because he's got a golden ticket in that briefcase.
Oh,
he can do
I'm glad you said something.
He can do it.
I'm glad you said something. So during the match, the one thing that caught my eye outside of the ring was Rhea Ripley sitting there holding 2 belts and the briefcase. And I just thought, could they put any more shit on her right now? She's just sitting out there dripping. She's dripping bling everywhere. I was like, this is so awesome. This is such a great camera shot of this right now. They look like they have everything.
Let's see how they treat her going forward, because she announced on social media that she's currently engaged to Mr. Buddy Matthews.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes. And they frown upon that sort of thing.
Right.
Breaking kayfabe on social media. Yep. They don't like that.
I hate that shit, man.
And then they got all the memes of those two at the beach, and she's kissing him on the cheek, and you got Dom in the background like this.
Oh, in the background staring like, hey, what's going on? Yep.
I've seen a bunch of them now. I saw one that unsettled me to my core. It had a picture of Paul Heyman kissing Roman Reigns. I was like, I don't need to see that ever again in my life.
And he was dressed like Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need that shit ever. Had the same black hair. I was like, oh, no.
Something you
Larry the Hitman said he had camo Crocs. Southeast Louisiana, baby. Larry, I had a pair of camo Crocs.
Right on, Larry.
From Dollar General. That was a color that I had. And Don, you are Larry's ninja.
My ninja.
Oh, man. So that was Raw. You thought it was blasé. What did you think, Motorhead?
I liked it. I thought it was all right. And what you said earlier, too, about the attendance and things like that, and the arena's getting sold out, on wrestling pumping up. They just did a thing in Sports Illustrated a couple weeks ago about how wrestling's on the rise again. You know, and like you said, it might not reach the numbers that it reached back in the 2000s when they had the wars and stuff with WCW and WWF. But I thought it was a great show. And Kaiser is slowly becoming one of my new favorites. I mean, I love Gunther, but that dude Kaiser, he's good stuff, man. And like you guys said, he's going to hopefully get the right push here pretty soon to where it propels him to a whole different stratosphere. You guys know what I mean? Because he's at that. He's right there. You know, he's getting the fans. He's getting the people behind him. I liked it. I thought it was great. I thought the whole program was a decent program.
I'll be curious. I'll be curious where they go. I'll be curious with that.
Yes.
I will say one thing
about.
Was not
a fan of the Shayna Baszler match. Just didn't do nothing for me.
That's why I skipped. Well, they did what they had to do. She beat the hell out of that girl, and it was over. I mean, it was just over. I mean, they're putting Shayna Baszler, so it feels like that they're building towards her to fight somebody. We'll see.
Ludwig Kaiser is my candidate for WWE Man of the Year.
I would second you on that. Definitely.
Because this is his girlfriend.
Jesus. Age?
Tiffany Stratton.
She looks like she works out.
Tiffany Stratton from NXT. She's the female champ down at NXT. the great Tiffany Stratton. All I can say is when she comes to the WWE main roster, watch out for her and Charlotte Flair tangling together.
Is she a taller girl?
Stratton? She's average size. Average size, athletic as hell, cartwheels, flying drop kicks, moonsaults. Well, you name it, she can do it. You name it, she can do it. The promos, hang on a second, the promos were a little stiff. She said they were going to call her up. They wanted to bring her up to the main roster. She says, I'd rather stay at NXT for a little bit longer so I can work on my promos. Hey.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
She's, I think, 24 years old, 25 years old. Young girl. Young girl. The great Tiffany Stratton. Ludwig Kaiser is, what's a phrase I could say? He's all up in that.
Good for him. The one issue that you have though, when you've got Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, and you want to have a match with them, man, is there's just not a whole lot of women in wrestling that can compete with them size wise, man. Right. It's hard to find that mirror image of somebody that looks like they could be a problem for them. So the only way it's going to work is if you have a baby face that sells like hell for 10 minutes of the match and has like a 3-minute run Spitfire that comes close to winning and then eventually does the job. That's the only way I see it working right now. That's just my opinion. On to the next topic I thought we had here. Marty Jannety kills a man. Marty Jannety's a murderer.
Man, that was a good program. Another good one. Wow.
Yeah, he said he fucking killed somebody.
He said, what did he say? I made someone disappear.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, I made somebody disappear. I made some.
So, and I asked
let me about the time I cured cancer.
And what the hell was his gap thing?
The girl had muscular dystrophy. And then I had sex with her and it made it go away. I got the cure for muscular dystrophy right in my loins.
Oh my
Marty Jannety is the craziest son of a bitch I've ever seen in my life with some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth. I knew he was crazy, and I heard some of the stories about him and Shawn Michaels when they were younger. But that story he dropped a few years ago took the internet by storm. And then he's on the show. He's on the show all these years later, and they're like, how much more can you go into it? That's all I can tell you, brother, if it's a work. If it's a work. What are you telling me, Marty? You want me to believe that Shawn Michaels threw you through a window, but somewhere in there is a deep demon that could murder a man? Get the hell out of here, Jannety.
Come on. Exactly.
I found it ironic that when Michaels and he got into that fight in a hotel room, that he got launched through a window.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when they did the real life breakup, the kayfabe breakup,
he
got launched through the window of the barbershop.
Uh-huh.
So
is that not one of the greatest heel turns in the professional wrestling history? By the way, when he got thrown through the window,
it was great.
It's iconic. It's iconic.
Yep. If he didn't have all the mental issues that he has and drug issues, he would have been their number one babyface after that.
Yeah, the
behind Hogan.
Yeah, and he had it. He had everything that you needed to do to get to that level. Definitely.
Yeah, athletic as hell.
Did you? Yeah. I did take a note on Miss Karen Walker, Marty's friend.
Oh,
yes. What about her?
Yes, Miss.
A lovely woman.
She's a winner, buddy. Miss Meth Head USA, right there, buddy. Really? I don't think them teeth could be any blacker. Like seriously, if you touch them hard enough, they'll fall out. Holy shit, dude.
I kept looking at that face and my teeth got loose.
Dude, my God, man. What the hell happened to her? And she's like, I don't believe what he says. Honey, I don't believe nothing you're saying right now.
St. Louis Karen.
My God in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
She was great.
That girl,
man.
She never saw a crack pipe she didn't like. I know that much.
Between her and the large, gelatinous, blue vein.
I know where you're going already.
Sandpaper to the touch jugs of Missy Beefcake. I didn't know what to look at first. I didn't know what appalled me the most. The roadmap, like the viscous, vascular, veiny roadmap like jugs of Missy Beefcake and her rubbery yap, or St. Louis Karen. I couldn't tell who offended me the most. But I'll tell you what. I tell you one thing. I couldn't look away. It was like a wreck on the highway.
Could not.
You could not look away.
You can't.
You guys
I could have watched
like I do, right? That was, I mean, high def. You're like, wow.
Brutus is sitting there. Brutus is sitting there next to her with the
glowing
big beard
like a
gut.
pumpkin. Glowing like a pumpkin.
He looked like if you would have stuck his face with a pin, the blood would shoot across the room. His face was swollen up like a tick, and all red. And he's got the fake tan, and she's got the fake tan, and she's talking a mile a minute. And I can't believe they let her on television.
Here's
with
my
those
thing,
things
John.
hanging out like that.
Here's my thing. You know you're going on national TV, right? This is the look you're both going with on a nationally televised show that is watched by, 500,000 to 1 million wrestling fans. This is the look you're going with?
Well, Don, they just got back. They just got back from church, Don. What happened to Don?
Yeah. Don.
We lost Don.
Don?
That's it.
Dude, it's probably Brutus.
His anger killed the internet in his house. There
he is.
He's back.
I don't know what happened there.
Dude, if we would have came back and Beefcake's got him like in a headlock, that would have been, you
That
son
would
of a
have been
bitch.
The
But
windows are all broken behind Don,
windows
and
are
Beefcake
broken.
standing there.
When she was,
They just got back from church, Don. That's why they were dressed like that.
I guarantee you they got back from somebody at one at church. And then she started talking about Marty. If you're watching, I'd show you these things, but we're not. We can't do that. And I actually wrote this down. I was like, "Whoa, Miss Beefcake, let's calm down on the boobage thunder there. We don't need to see those things swinging out of your dress. Let's not do that."
You know when you go to the butcher and they got
Yeah.
the big loaves of bologna hanging up behind the deli counter at the butcher.
Oh,
That's what it reminded me of.
Uh-huh.
Jesus, dude.
Go ahead, Boater.
Did any of you guys know about her?
No, I've never seen her.
I have never, ever once heard about her or seen her around Brutus Beefcake. Never. And she knew all this stuff. I'm like, who in the heck is that? Had no idea. No idea.
Why did she take over that segment? She took over the segment with him.
Big time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was strange. She just took it. I was like, well, how, if you were in the game for that long and that close to those guys, how come you're surfacing now? I mean, there's people like that out there, that especially wrestling stuff, that you see eventually later on that were involved in past history wrestling. But for that, when she took over that segment, I was like, whoa, she knew everything, and it's like, I'd never heard of her, heard about her, anything, nothing.
Well, Jugs Beefcake said on Twitter, she said,
Great name.
She said on Twitter yesterday, she came out and said that Hulk Hogan, going by his past history, is a closeted homosexual man.
Yes.
I'm editing what she said, but that's basically what she implied, that he was a closeted homosexual man.
Yeah, well,
shitting all over the man. He turned 7 decades,
Yeah.
and she's shitting all over the guy who elevated her useless husband. The best thing he ever did.
There's no
The best thing he
Brutus.
ever did was the Dream Team with Greg Valentine,
I love that.
managed by the great Johnny Valentine.
By Johnny V, baby.
Johnny V, who had the he had the cigar that wasn't lit, but looked like it was. And when the opponents are outside the ring, they're distracted, the refs, he take the cigar and rub it in the guy's eye. But all he's doing is putting the cold ashes on the man's eye. So the guy gets back in the ring, he's like, eye full of carbon and ashes and all that. Then he gets his ass kicked. They go to the finish, done.
They talked about there was a Pat Tanaka sighting. I hadn't seen him in years. It was good to see him. I was like, oh shit, I forgot all about Pat, man. That guy was a good wrestler back in the day.
Yeah,
They talked about
they shut down the meth lab for one day so he could come out and appear.
The gun story got my attention when he talked about Marty Jannety just deciding, I think I'm gonna squeeze off a few rounds now that Pat Tanaka's decided to pass out on my couch. What a lunatic, man. I'm just gonna shoot some rounds in the house. Pat, wake up.
Wake up.
Pat said he woke up, panicked.
Here's a story that Coach Bald told me. He told me one day this morning that remember the scene where Marty walked up to a cop?
The moped incident.
Yes,
The moped
yes.
incident.
Can I borrow your bike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cop goes, oh, yeah. He drives it up the steps of the hotel and goes into the lobby and crashes into the fountain and knocks the guy into the fountain. The great Fidel Sierra, Cuban assassin in WCW, was standing off to the side with his wife.
I saw that. Right. I saw that.
That's right.
That was Cuban assassin was there. And he said to Coach Bald, he goes, the sons of bitches never came to me. I was right there. All these other guys are talking about what happened, and they weren't even there. They weren't anywhere close to it. But I saw the whole thing. They never came to me.
Well, hell, everybody saw the whole thing. It was on video. It's not like you had to be there to talk about it. Shit was all over the internet. And then they talked about
there was no internet back then. There was no internet back then.
I'm talking about now, though, man. There's so much viral shit from back then. I mean, there's videos from 98 I didn't know about I can see today. But they talked about, clearly in 2005, Don Wayne was not watching wrestling because I had no idea he and Shawn Michaels had a one-off match together. I didn't have a clue. That
was when Shawn turned his life around and found religion. And,
it's amazing how that happens.
He tried to pay Marty back for, the shitty way he treated him.
It amazes me that when these wrestlers run out of friends and people to talk to, they magically find God. Just a weird coincidence how that always works out. Right. I've changed my ways. I don't want to be a prick anymore. Shawn Michaels has always been a prick.
And everybody says it. Anybody that's been involved with that man from the start to the end pretty much said exactly what Don said about him.
I have no nice words to say about him. And then it ended with him going on his rant about the murder in Sandy. I thought it was one of their better dark sides. I thought they got a lot of opinions. I don't know how or why Brutus Beefcake got involved in this. I feel like there's Cassidy or what's his name? Al Snow. Mm-hmm. I was glad to hear from him because he actually had connections with Marty for all that time. But Brutus Beefcake kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, how the hell is Brutus Beefcake suddenly Marty Janetti's best friend? I didn't get that, but whatever. We got to see the great Mrs. Beefcake. We got to see Tits McGee. Glory. When you see Tits McGee, salute. Baby.
It looked like she had two bald-headed midgets standing with their back to the camera in front of her.
It was wild. And then, what do you want to talk about next, Bottles?
Well, let's talk about AEW. Let's go into the AEW camp right now.
Don's leaving. There he goes. Don!
Nope, I'm gone, man.
Don, he's out. Oh, he's back. Did you go get yourself some medicine before this segment, Don?
Did you watch the opening Chris Jericho segment?
Yes. and that's when I turned it off.
How bad was that?
You know, the guy, I used to love Jericho, but he keeps burying himself deeper and deeper and deeper with whatever the hell he's doing. Because to me, from week to week, it still doesn't make a goddamn bit of sense. It doesn't. I don't know why he's doing what he's doing. It's just
he's booking his own segments is what he's doing.
Yeah,
and he runs it by Tony Khan, who's out of his mind to begin with.
Sure. Yep.
And Tony Khan's probably drank 3 Monster Energies and did 2 rails by the time Jericho gets to him at the day of the show. And he says, this is what I want to do. And, okay, no problem. That's good. Whatever you want to do, Chris.
Agreed.
That's my Tony Khan impression.
Yep. That's perfect. Don,
the eyes.
Don wants to say something. Go ahead, Don.
Watching Jake Hager cut a promo is like watching goddamn paint dry. It is the most painful TV viewing experience you could possibly have. And to make the matters worse, everybody got to turn on the microphone. Like it was, comedy hour at your local 5 and dime store. Just pass it around. Yeah. Like I didn't need to hear from everybody. That was terrible. It was 15 minutes. I was bored out of my mind. I said, I'm not watching this shit. I came back about 10 or 15 minutes later, and that's when I saw Jake Hager talking. And I was like, wow, really? Jake Hager said shit all of nothing for the first 3 years of this company. Now he's got something to say? All right, I'm out. You don't want me as a fan of AEW. I get the message. Don't worry. I'm going to watch less and less of this horse shit.
It's like they don't learn. It continues every week. At least Collision has some, hope, light of hope. They had a few kind of misses there recently, but the regular program for AEW is the same stuff over and over and frickin' over again. Oh, And then the guys, some of the guys that have been in the basement, or wherever, hanging out in a closet for freaking 2, 3, 4 months. Oh, all of a sudden they show up unannounced. Hey, here they are. And it's like, where's the storyline? Where's the connection to what's going on?
You know what this reminded me of? This, and I wrote this down. This looked like the WWE in 2010 timeframe with Jericho. That's what this reminded me of. When it was so unwatchable with segments like this, where you couldn't stand it. I hated it. I saw the Bucks won. FTR came out. We get that match. Yay, we get to have that again.
The Bucks versus the Hardys. How bad did the Hardys look?
Dude.
Terrible.
Somebody's got to make Matt Hardy stop goddamn wrestling before he seriously hurts himself, man. The guy can't. He bends like a Lego block, dude. There is no give in any of his joints.
No.
I can hear him. I can hear him squeaking when he tries to bend his legs. I can hear it through the TV. They need to WD-40 his ass.
He wrestles like the Tin Man.
The damn ring.
Right. Absolutely. Well, the Hardy Boys are the Hardy Men. I couldn't believe that Matt Hardy is 48 years old. He's almost 50.
Damn.
And Jeff Hardy's 47.
They looked it.
Yes.
They move like it. They move like it.
Dude, Jeff Hardy looked like he was going to hurt himself at any minute with the moves he was doing.
Yeah.
It was scaring me as a fan.
He needs to sit back and get in the ring with his brother and just work out on a weekend. What can I do? How can I change my moveset so I'm not killing myself in the ring? What new holds? Let me be a submission guy. Let me get a guy on a mat and wrestle him down to the mat and throw a submission move on him. He needs to figure out something like that. He needs to adapt himself to his advancing years and the fact that he can't. 20 years, 25 years. No, actually, they started wrestling when they were what? 15?
15, 16
So
years
you're
old,
talking you're talking 32 years of beating yourself up like that.
Dude.
Doing these crazy moves.
that was painful to watch as a fan. I loved the Hardys when I was younger. I've got no use for them anymore. They need to find another role for themselves within that company. Being a wrestler is not what they need to do anymore. And I know there's a lot of hardcore fans out there of theirs, but you can't watch them today and honestly assess and think that they're not going to eventually hurt themselves seriously. Matt Hardy got a damn concussion falling off of a scaffold or whatever it was a couple of years ago. I thought he was dead. When his head hit the back of that damn floor, I was like, all right, that's it. Nice career you had.
And they let him wrestle when they woke him up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They let him finish the match. And his wife was blowing her mind on Twitter.
Yeah. On Twitter.
She kirked out on Twitter.
Yeah. Dude,
unbelievable.
Those guys could write their ticket backstage, agent, whatever. They've had enough experience. They've gone through so many damn wrestling, shows, and they know exactly what they're doing. Just get away from the ring. Go work in the back. I mean, I'm not a pro racer. I probably have the same convictions about stopping and not being a wrestler anymore. But once you know your body's hitting that point, it's like, man, I got to do something. I don't want to end up in. Dude, look what happened to Dynamite Kid. Kept going. Boom, wheelchair. Done.
Can't walk anymore.
Nope.
Can't. Yep.
I did see the RVD match, which we're bringing the retirement tour is a full go. I think the question is, who do they bring out next? Because if we're gonna have the ECW retirement tour, go full on with this shit, man. You got to bring in the Sandman. You got to bring them all back. Bring everybody back that Tony Khan was a fan of.
But wouldn't you guys, Motorhead, if you were booking AEW, would you have saved RVD versus Jack Perry for Wembley Stadium?
Yes.
And RVD could walk in like a god, and everybody would go crazy.
To walk from Pantera. Here we go. Boom. Yep. Place goes nuts. Definitely. If I was booking that, he would not. He'd show some hints,
but that's
snippets, that type of shit. But
that's not what we got. We got it on a shitty AEW Dynamite show in front of 4,000 fans and a throwaway match that nobody's going to remember in 3 months when you could have had an all-time heat magnet build-up for this.
Yes.
For the F the World Championship belt in front of all those people, and it would have made it meaningful. No, we're not going to do that shit. No, we're not going to get crazy. Let's not be creative and think this through. I need a ratings pop, which they didn't get as a result because who the hell cares?
Yep.
I mean, again, here we go.
If they would have billboarded the fact that RVD was going to wrestle Jack Perry, and they would have had that as the main event and gave him some time, and maybe they would have gotten a good rating. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's just
No.
That's the way I would have done it. But
Yeah.
What do I know? What do we know?
I just know what I like to watch. That's all I know. And this
Same
shit
here.
ain't it.
And it's not. That's right.
And then we had the Michael Cole segment.
Hang on a second.
Hold on.
No, hang on.
No, you hold on.
You talked about ECW coming into AEW and bringing them all back. Have you heard Bully Ray?
Yeah, I've seen his horse shit on his show.
Have an ECW invasion to AEW. Bring them all in. He wants a payday. He wants to come back in and wrestle the Hardy Boys again. Him and Devon. Devon had a goddamn stroke. It just came out this week. He came out and said about 4 or 5 years ago when he worked for the WWE, he had to take time off because he had a stroke.
Oh, man.
The job was so stressful that he stroked out and had to take time off and recuperate. And they brought him back for a little bit, but he opted to walk away because of all the travel that would be involved, and he couldn't do it anymore. That man cannot get into the ring and have a match.
I'll tell you this much. He's not going to scream, get the tables. He's going to scream, Devon, get the defibrillators. You cannot have, this guy cannot be serious. That I don't need to see you on my TV, bud. Your time has passed. Look, I liked, the Dudley Boys. I liked them for what they were. Right? Yeah. I liked them for what they were. Some jackass was going through a table. They're going to scream their catchphrase. I thought they were a really good tag team. I thought they were fun. What I didn't understand was that they continued to get the push that they got. I just didn't get it. Because if you look at that ladder match everybody screams about, the Hardys and Edge and Christian made that ladder match special, in my opinion.
Of course they did.
I mean, they were diving off of everything. To me, the Dudley Boys were there, but they were not the stars of that thing. So him coming out and saying some crazy shit like that, man. Is he all hyped up on goofballs? Is he snorting something I don't know about? What the hell's he on? I don't want to see you in the ring, dude. I like your busted open show every now and then. I listen in, but I don't need to see you wrestle anymore.
I guess the Impact checks aren't paying the rent.
Yeah.
He wants a piece of that Tony Khan money. Impact's still on, believe it or not. They have an audience of 100,000, maybe 80,000.
Does the audience know it's on? Are they just watching this shit?
They wake them up from time to time, the live audience. Okay. They play music real loud to wake them up.
This has to be shit they're showing at a nursing home to keep them asleep at night. It has to be. Nobody's watching that shit on purpose. If you're watching that show on purpose, you are way too deep in the weeds on wrestling.
People go out of their way. People do go out of their way to watch Impact. There's a core cadre of crazy individuals that think that good things are happening over in Impact, and they're going to grow their audience, and they're really going to catch fire. No, they're not. They're not. It's not.
Johnny, I don't even have to go out of my way to miss it. I don't have to go out of my way to miss it. It's just not on.
They've got Trinity Fat U over there.
That's all I keep hearing is that one guy, the one fat two that they got to get the WWE, and I don't know what they're waiting on. Just get his ass over.
No. Trinity Fatu, the former Naomi, the former Naomi from WWE.
Oh, got it. I didn't know that.
Jimmy Uso's wife. Jimmy's wife is the ladies' champ over at Impact Wrestling, which that and the $2 will get you a cup of coffee at the 7-Eleven.
Maybe, depending on what state it's in.
Maybe.
So the last part of this AEW god-awfulness I'm going to talk about is the Adam Cole MJF segment. It was okay when it first started. It's droning on now, in my opinion. When it first started, I was like, maybe. About 2 or 3 segments in, I was like, okay, I can see where this could go somewhere. This last segment was the one where I'm throwing in the towel now. You guys got to get to where you're going with this. And thank God the match is not this week, but the week after, correct?
2 weeks, yeah. They keep talking, and carrying on and on and on and on and on, and it's. You're right, Don. It's totally stagnant. It's not going anywhere. Just get to the meat. No more potatoes. Let's get the meat.
I just didn't care for it. I don't know about you, Johnny.
I just think that they started it too quickly. They started it too soon. At All In, they're going to wrestle twice. The pre-show will be Adam Cole and MJF versus Aussie Open. I think they have what tag belts do they have? Aussie Open, the ROH tag belts. I'm not sure.
There's so many belts in there.
They're going to wrestle those two guys in the pre-show, folks. Then they're going to go in the back and take a shower, cool off, eat some catering, and then they're going to have the main event. Those two versus the AEW Heavyweight Championship, where I'm predicting right now, Adam Cole turns heel on MJF. And MJF will be the number one babyface in the company after that. And I predict that Britt Baker will beat the Bunny. She'll beat the brakes off the Bunny this week, which is no match whatsoever. The Bunny is just, she's a cute girl, but she's horrible. I'm sure she's a great person behind the scenes, but she moves around in the ring like a blindfolded baby deer. She's just the worst. And these girls keep getting hurt in the ring and hurt in the ring. She's just coming off the injury reserve list.
Every week it's somebody new, it seems like. My God.
Every week somebody's new and gets hurt. So the Bunny is coming back to wrestle Britt Baker for the fourth spot in the Four Corners Women's Championship match.
Oh, God.
At Wembley Stadium. And you know it's going to be Britt Baker. Britt Baker takes that belt because she shits on everybody there. She's going to take that belt and turn heel. That's my prediction.
I hate
baby. I really don't. I really don't think make him a baby. But you're Bottles, you pretty much, I think you're right. They're going to have to do something with him, and unfortunately, it's going to go that route. For me, I love seeing him as a heel, knocking kids' drinks over, that type of stuff. Great stuff. Mm-hmm. But I can't argue with you, dude. Can't.
I hate everything you just said, Bottles. I hate it all.
I hate it myself. I hate myself for saying it.
God.
When this is over, I'm going to put a lit cigar out on my tongue because I'm mad at my tongue for saying those words.
I am now equally depressed and pissed off, and I didn't know that was a thing. Dude, bathroom break match. Yeah, that's called a shit break because that's what I'll be taking in the middle of that match. We're not taking a whiz where I'm holding that in. I'm holding that rascal all day for that match. Because there ain't no way I'm seeing a second of that.
The wild turkey and the pizza will be released.
Damn right. Woo! And then we got SmackDown. SmackDown came on Friday, and I couldn't see it, so I had to catch everything on YouTube and what I was seeing on the clips on the Twitter machine there. You know why? Because football's back, boys. And locally here in this area, the Washington Commanders take center stage. Preseason or not, WWE's getting pushed out of the way anytime there's a pro football game on. Guaranteed. So I might not see another SmackDown until September at this rate. But from what I saw, I got to see the opening segment because of a weather delay here. And I saw Io Sky and Bailey and all them girls came out at the middle of that match and just took a can of whoop ass on them girls. I enjoyed that opening segment. What did you think there? What did you think, Motor?
I liked it. It surprised
you watched
the crap out of me. Yes, I did. And when they started jumping, I was like, oh, man, this is good. And it reminded me a little bit of some of the stuff in the late 90s, that WWF was doing, WWE was doing. So, yeah, I thought that was cool. That it immediately kept me tuned into the program right there. I'm like, oh, we're going somewhere now. Rock and roll. I thought it was great. Thought it was freaking great, man. Bottles?
That was good stuff. They effectively returned Asuka face by having her ass kicked by Damage Control. No one wanted to boo Asuka. Everybody cheered her, even when she blew that mist in Charlotte Flair's face at SummerSlam, costing Charlotte Flair the match. Everybody cheered her. They love Asuka for some reason because they know she's a badass in real life, and you never know what she's going to do. She never wrestles the same match over and over again. You never see the same moves over and over again. She throws a curveball in what she does out there. which is nice to see. Bianca Belair, I feel sorry for her. She's probably going to have to turn heel and maybe join up with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Hurt Business too, perhaps. And you're going to see MVP probably tied in with those guys. And the big man, what's his name? Almost a
wrestler.
Almost a wrestler.
Almost a wrestler.
Well, he's an attraction, Don. He doesn't have to know how to do a moonsault. But if he did do a moonsault, it'd be pretty badass. I will say that.
I don't think he's handsome. If you do, that's cool.
I didn't say he was handsome.
You said he was an attractive man.
He's an attraction. An attractive man. He fills out those tights real well.
I bet he does that, pal. I did see AJ and Cross's cluster flop of a situation there. What the shit, dude? That was bad. God, that was
AJ Styles and Karrion Kross. Yes, that was.
What are you doing over there, Don? What are you doing to yourself?
Beefcakes got Don again. Don.
That was Omos who got
almost. Yeah, almost got him. See, he talked about. Oh, there he is. Okay.
What are you doing to yourself?
Almost.
I don't know, man. Right now, I feel like the entire internet wrestling community is coming at me and killing all my shit. They're killing my feed.
Every time you say something,
I'm still here.
You get cut off. For like, oh shit, the bottle's like almost done. Got him.
Good Lord.
Wow.
Good. He's in and out. He's in, he's out. He's in, he's out.
That match, Karrion Kross can't catch a break, man. He just can't catch a break.
The one thing I can say about that is it made Mia Yim look good because everyone hates Scarlett.
I hate Scarlett.
She grabbed Scarlett because Scarlett was interfering, and she threw Scarlett, who took a bump over the announce table. The valet took a bump like that over the announce table, which is.
I wish I'd have seen that. Damn.
Yes. Ass over tea kettle, pal.
That's good stuff.
You saw all of Charlotte's goods were right there. Oh. Not as much as Missy Beefcakes, not as much as Missy Tingletit's beefcake, but it was all there.
The tangerines. Yep. The tangerines are hanging low in the tree. Yep. They're low in the tree, buddy. That's the lowest hanging fruit you're ever going to see.
The guavas were out, pal. The guavas were out.
And then I saw what the hell was the other thing I saw? L.A. Knight. Yeah, he got the win. He beat Uncle Phil. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Phil. That man is forever Uncle Phil. Somebody named him that. I don't know who it was, and it fits like a damn glove.
I love it. I think it's great, Uncle Phil.
So I was glad to see that L.A. Knight got the win. That was all I had for SmackDown. What did I miss? Anything else on SmackDown?
How happy did Michael Cole look to be there?
I couldn't see him. Like I said, it was preempted.
Oh, Michael Cole looked like someone shot his dog that night before he got in the air.
Was he sick, sir?
No.
He looked like he was sick, or I thought he had the flu or was just pushing through. He looked bad.
They took the two guys. They took the two guys from SmackDown, Michael Cole and what's the guy's name? Wade Barrett. They took that announce team and put them on Raw. Raw was a great show because of that announce team. Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves. Kevin Patrick is the weak link. He used to be the backstage interviewer on Raw, and that's a job that he was born for. He's not born to be a play-by-play guy. He's so terrible. So they said, we'll put him over with Graves on SmackDown, and we'll have Michael Cole there too. And Michael Cole sat there basically and held hands with Kevin Patrick to get him through the broadcast of SmackDown. He called Oscar.
Kevin Patrick. Shit. He's been listening to Jim Cornette.
Yes.
He's been listening to Jim Cornette.
He called her Oscar.
Oh, no.
And he doesn't. When Kevin Patrick speaks, it's like they don't turn the microphone up loud enough.
Right.
Maybe they don't like his Irish accent, but he is like he's potted down like 2 levels below Corey Graves.
Yep.
And when they were calling Raw, Corey Graves would do play-by-play because Kevin Patrick wouldn't talk. Shit is flying in the ring and in the outside area. Kevin Patrick wouldn't say anything, like he was dumbstruck. He didn't know what to do. Like you saw Missy Beefcake's veiny,
No,
wrinkled jugs.
We're not
in
going
front of him.
there
He didn't know
again.
what to say.
We're not doing that again.
I haven't even had dinner yet. Bottles, god damn it.
Hey, Mr. Tangerine Man, blow your boobs for me. You've got low-hanging fruits, and all I can see is titties on TV.
Oh my Lord, Kevin Patrick. Oh my Lord, she just hit Charlotte Flair in the face with her tangerine veiny boobs.
I would love to hear like a parody of Vince McMahon calling her interview, or like a run-in from her.
Oh,
Like that. In my head, I can hear that almost coming off now. Vince McMahon calling her running to the ring. Here comes, it's Mrs. Beefcake, a.k.a. Tits McGee.
I almost saw, when she was on the dark side of the ring, I almost saw the cat food can slide out from underneath her left boob.
That's all that was missing. All that was missing.
That's all that was missing.
Did we miss anything else from Friday Night SmackDown?
No.
We missed, yes, we did. We missed Jimmy Uso.
What?
Jimmy Uso quit.
Oh, yeah.
He quit the bloodline. He quit the bloodline. He
Yep,
quit
he quit.
The family, and he quit the WWE.
That's what he said.
Jimmy kicked Jimmy in the face. No, Jimmy kicked Jay in the face at SummerSlam.
I mean, nailed it.
Interfered in the main event because, as Jimmy explained Friday night on SmackDown, I didn't want you to get tainted. There's that word again, tainted, by becoming the tribal chief of the family if you would have beat Roman. I saw what it did to him and the way he is now. I don't want you to turn into that. And Jay replied by kicking Jimmy in the face.
Yeah.
He kicked everybody in the face. He left them all laying. I think the walrus, Paul Heyman, was the only one that was still standing upright when Jay rolled out of the ring and said he quit everything, quit the WWE. And schmucks on the internet, in the
I saw
IWC,
this. I saw these idiots.
Fightful reported that Jay Uso's contract was up
in August.
In August, this month. And that's why he's legit leaving the WWE. It's an angle.
He's not leaving WWE.
What the F is, what on God's green earth is wrong with these people? These 15, 16-year-old, pimply-faced, greasy-handed kids sitting in the basement. Jimmy's sitting in the basement watching this shit.
Yes.
Drinking Red Bulls like they're
out of
glasses of water.
Out of their minds.
Out of their minds.
Yeah.
All hopped up on weed and Red Bull, and they got an Xbox controller in one hand, and their pucks in the other.
And this box of Kleenex in the other.
Yes.
This is in the other hand.
Yes.
Just freaking waiting for the next Soraya episode or whatever so they can just get a hold of that thing. It's insane.
They're waiting to see Liv Morgan again. They're waiting to see Liv on WWE.
Yes.
So they can
spend more quality time in their basement and
expel
Don't come in, Mom.
Don't come in, Mom.
I don't want any damn oatmeal.
So I thought that was pretty good.
What are you doing in here? What's all the Kleenex all over the floor? What is all this?
I'm sick.
I got a cold, Mom. I got a cold.
Damn it.
I got a cold, Ma.
I got a cold.
I tried to watch Collision, but again, the NFL's back, boys. And the NFL's back. And I don't give a damn. Come college football season, guess what? I'm not going to be watching that either. I'll flip over when it's a commercial break. The one thing I took out of Collision this week is Brody King is goddamn awful. That guy's awful. He is the drizzling shits. The dude is awful. And the last match, the main event ended with Samoa Joe choking out CM Punk. And I was like, all right, you got my attention on that match. You got my attention. That was a good way to close the show. But somebody take Brody King out back behind the woodshed and beat him down until he figures out how to work. Good Lord, man.
He can't work. He can't talk. He can't do anything. He just – it's like void. I don't know. Every time he comes on the camera or the TV and I look at him, I'm like – and then I hear him and then I watch him and I'm like, how is this guy even there? That might be rash of me to say, but Jesus H. Don, you're right.
Brody King is untalented. He's unwashed, and he's unattractive to look at. He's three uns. He's got the three uns going on. Untalented, unwashed, and unattractive. You can't look at that man without having to look away. He's repulsive to look at, repugnant, if you will. He's got all those tattoos all over his body to cover up the fact that he's an obese, flabby, gelatinous slob of a man. And 1 month ago, he posted on his Twitter account a picture of Ray Traylor, the big boss man, hanging from a cage after a Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker, where they did an angle in the Attitude Era where The Undertaker hung the big boss man by a noose in the cage.
Yeah.
And Brody King screenshotted that and put it on his Twitter account and wrote, "Fuck all cops."
Yeah, something to that effect. Yeah, just the guy's a complete piece of trash.
If he was working for the WWE, he would have been gone.
Absolutely.
As soon as he took his finger off the send button, he would have been gone. They would have launched him out of that company on a rail.
Yep.
But because it's AEW and it's All Friends Wrestling, anything goes. They probably didn't even see it. But don't put a clip of AEW of a botch on your Twitter account. AEW botches. I'm calling you out because you always get shit for that. And Kenny Olivier, the Kenny Olivier Twitter account gets copyright struck by Don Stevens of AEW, who we all know is Aubrey Edwards. She's in charge of that also. Checking
Horseface.
Oh,
look at
horse. Yeah, Mr. Famous, Mr. Yes, Horseface.
You want to know what's weird? You want to know what's crazy? I've never tweeted that woman. I've never replied to that woman, and I'm blocked.
I'm blocked also.
How the hell?
Me too,
what a
guys.
psycho.
Me too. Never sent nothing to her.
Psycho.
Nothing. Yep. And I'm blocked. I'm on the esteemed block list as well for no reason. It's like, what the hell? All I do is post old shit about wrestlers.
You probably said something somewhere along the line, talking derogatorily about Aubrey Edwards.
I've never said a word about her.
I posted a picture of a horse wearing a referee shirt. Oh. And I say, here she comes now. She's ready for the main event. And
the truth
that was all I needed, I guess. Yeah.
Did she have a match like a month ago that was just an awful idea from the get-go and it went nowhere? Like, this is the shit I mean with AEW.
They wasted it on free TV. That should have been a pay-per-view match. Jeff and Lethal and Karen Jarrett versus Aubrey Edwards. I forgot who that they were feuding with at the time. I see that it was so unmemorable that I can't even remember who the actual wrestlers were that were with Aubrey Edwards at the time. But she did one move. That was it.
I'm so glad I didn't see it, and it's unmemorable. And thank God it's over.
The reason why, Aubrey, if you're watching, which you could very well be, if you blocked all three of us on Twitter, the reason why you're so maligned on Twitter is because when you referee a match, you're supposed to be in the background, guiding the wrestlers along, communicating what the agents are saying back in the gorilla position, meaning go to the finish. Go use your high spot right now. Come off the top rope. Your finisher.
You've got 3 minutes left.
You got 3 minutes left. We're back from commercial. They say things like that. When someone's down on the mat and the referee walks over, the referee says anything. It could be. It's not. They're not saying how you feeling. Are you okay? They're saying we're back from commercial right now. Chuck said in the back. He says he wants you to jump up and do your finisher, and then she'll also say go home.
Yeah.
And that calls for the end of the match. But Aubrey Edwards has to be the center of attention. Yeah. She knows where the camera is, the hard cam. She knows where the handheld cameras are. She's always positioning herself to be right there in the line of sight.
You guys imagine if let's say the NFL this season, okay, on the field, all the field judges, et cetera, and they start pulling Aubrey Edwards and start doing their shit, doing cartwheels and hey, foul, and doing all the weird. How would that fly, guys?
Not at all.
They'd be fired.
Yes.
In the WWE and an Impact,
lady.
Any other wrestling federation, they don't even mention anybody's name. You're just a referee. You're the ref.
Referees, the refs in the match.
Yep. Absolutely.
I can't stand her anymore. It's all a joke. Larry's right. We're all blocked. Everybody's blocked if you don't like Horseface.
Larry!
But, yeah, that was my Collision update. I got nothing else on Collision. I don't want to talk about AEW. I want to talk about something fun. That shit is not fun.
Tan, Don. Looks good, buddy.
Hey, let's talk.
Thank you.
Let's talk about an old school wrestler, shall we?
Hit it.
You got this one.
Are we all down for that?
Yeah. What do you got?
Does anyone out there remember the AWA? I'm sure you all do.
That what I got.
Wrestling Association. The
yeah,
AWA.
Absolutely.
They had a group. They had a tag team there called the Destruction Crew, and the Destruction Crew was
Mike Enos.
Mean Mike Enos and Wayne the Train Bloom. They would come out with hard hats, wife beaters, work boots. Wayne the Train Bloom would carry a sledgehammer. Mean Mike Enos was a good head shorter than Wayne the Train Bloom. Wayne was a tall man. Big dude. Yeah. And Wayne was a muscular guy. And they even went toe-to-toe with the Road Warriors from time to time in the AWA. But those guys were a fantastic team. Bloom was the mouthpiece, and Mean Mike Enos was like the animal of the Road Warrior animal of the Destruction Crew. Just a powerhouse of a man, a human fire plug, if you will. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because in NXT, the son of Wayne the Train Bloom, Von Wagner, his real name is Calvin Bloom. He's the son of Wayne the Train Bloom. He's 6'7", probably a good 275 pounds.
Big bastard.
Big man. And they didn't know what to do with him at first when they got him. He was a babyface. They turned him heel. They had him turn on his tag team partner. And he was a heel for a while and he floundered because he's such a nice man. He's such a nice dude to talk to. They decided to turn him face again. And they talked about all his struggles when he was growing up. They had to operate on his brain. They had to take his head apart and operate on his brain because the brain wasn't developing because the bones in his head, when you're young, they move around. Your head, your cranium has seams in it. So as you grow, your head can grow also, your cranium. And your brain, his cranium wasn't moving. So they had to go and take it apart and operate and put them all back together. So the end result is, if you've seen Von Wagner, he sort of looks like the Geico caveman with a shave. He's got like pronounced Neanderthal brow, but that's from all the scars and all the operations they did on his head, starting back when he was 14 months old. When he was in elementary school, kids used to make fun of him because of all the scars on his head, and he looked like a Neanderthal. But he built himself up and became a hell of a wrestler. I think the guy's a great worker. Let me take a look at, we'll take a look right now at Wayne the Train Bloom's Wikipedia page. And where is he? He's right there. Let's pop him up right now, fellas. Wayne Bloom. I believe
his son's name is Cal. His real name is Cal.
Yes, Calvin Bloom.
Yeah.
He started with the American Wrestling Association from 1988 to 1991. He was trained by Ed Sharkey. And he competed as I said, Wayne the Train Bloom. Initial run as a singles wrestler didn't go too well because he was beaten by Jimmy Valiant at the AWA Super Clash pay-per-view 3. Super Clash 3 in 24 seconds. He did the old SD Jones in and out real quick.
That ain't good.
That's not good.
Not good.
But when he formed the tag team with another rookie and a fellow Eddie Shark trainee, Mean Mike Enos, in the fall of 1989, they took on Ken Patera and Brad Rengans, two Olympic athletes there, legit
badasses,
to a car lifting contest. And when Patera went to lift the car, they attacked in kayfabe and injured those guys, forcing them to vacate the tag titles. I would say back then, because they forced them to vacate the tag titles, Patera was going up to Vince. That's probably my train of thought. And I think Brad Rengans went to WCW at the time. He had a cup of coffee with them. So they would defeat Sergeant Slaughter and Baron Von Raschke. They defeated Greg Gagne and Paul Diamond. We talked about Pat Tanaka earlier. Paul Diamond was Kato, who worked under a hood as the Orient Express with Pat Tanaka in the WWE. He was a single star in the AWA. And then he teamed with Pat Tanaka as Bad Company. They came out to the song Bad Company by this group Bad Company. The AWA. And Vince said, "How come you're not an Asian, pal?" So he put a mask on on Paul Diamond to pretend he was aging to fight alongside of his friend Pat Tanaka. But anyway, Ringen's returned from wherever he was and also fought Bloom in a Greco-Roman match because Brad was an Olympic caliber athlete and Bloom lost. But they went to World Championship Wrestling in 1990 and they wrestled under mask as the Minnesota Wrecking Crew Part 2. And guess who their manager was? Ole Anderson.
No shit. I did not know that.
Ole Anderson was their manager. And this didn't
They must have
last
just
long.
been there. Yeah, I was going to say, they had to have been there for like a cup of coffee because what I'm looking at says, 1990, and then the next year they're the WWF?
Yeah.
WWF from 91 to 93 as the Beverly Brothers. They came out as a couple of
That I remember. I think they're best known for being the Beverly Brothers, to be honest. That was because I want to say, didn't they win the championships at some point as the Beverly Brothers?
Yes,
they were the
took on
WWF
everybody.
Tag Team Champions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
They did.
They took on the Legion of Doom. They took on the Bushwhackers.
Yep.
They took on the natural disasters. And
I love them, by the way.
I love the natural disasters. God, I love them.
Yeah.
Me
In 92,
too.
they were used to put over other tag teams. They were the losing end of an 8-man elimination tag team match, the Survivor Series, and they were defeated by their old rivals, the Steiner Brothers, at the 1993 Royal Rumble.
Wow.
And in 93, Bloom left the WWF and said, "That's
That was
it.
it.
I'm
That's
retired."
it.
Done.
But then he came back. He came back for, imagine, Herb Abrams in the UWF.
Oh, God.
Herb, Mr. Cokehead. Herb Abrams.
Tony Khan from 30 years ago.
Tony
Herb
Khan.
Abrams.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
That's right.
Tony Khan wishes he could be Herb Abrams. Every
that's-
man should. That dude's death is. I'm sorry he passed away, but how he died is the most amazing damn thing you'll ever hear in your life.
Was he
Just
running naked
insane.
through a hotel, all coked up out
Wait.
of his mind,
Uh-huh.
with white
He was
powder
running-
over his
wait.
face?
He was running naked through a
Yes.
hotel, chasing a hooker, carrying a baseball bat, and had a heart attack. Put
Man,
that
talk
shit on
about-
my tombstone.
That's how
That
every man should aspire to go that way. God damn it.
that guy's tombstone should read, "Went out doing shit I love."
Shit, I love. He's probably
I'd
wearing
just
those
like to say-
ostrich fucking skin boots too, like he bought. I guarantee.
Bonesaw.
you. Woo!
Bonesaw, we know you're watching. That's the way you're going to go out.
Love you,
Naked.
Bonesaw.
Naked,
Bonesaw,
coked
love
up out of your mind, drunk with a baseball bat, chasing a hooker through a goddamn hotel. That's the way you're going out, Bonesaw. You know we love you, pal. We're just kidding with you.
And I
But-
can hear him now. Bonesaw is ready.
It's not. If you've seen Bonesaw, folks, also known as AKA the Madness, it's not out of character for him to do
You'll
something.
understand what we're saying. Yes,
I think
Yes.
that is his character.
he is the man. We love
Yes,
the
he's
Bonesaw.
he's running the streets of St. Petersburg right now, semi-nude, carrying a baseball bat. But
Bad
anyway,
advice
back,
for $2.
let's go. Bad advice for $2.
All right, fellas.
What an origin story.
I mean,
that's,
for real.
That's for a podcast for another day. But anyway, Bloom and Enos had a brief reunion back in WCW in 1998. They had a cup of coffee there, and they finally disbanded for good, and Bloom retired. However, his son, who was born in 1994, Cal Bloom.
Now, this is the big part of it. This is the big part.
This is the big part of it. Von Wagner is his stage name, his wrestling name. Cal Bloom is in NXT. Cal Bloom, in this last go-round of the draft, got drafted to SmackDown. However, they opted to keep him in NXT to work on his character and make him a good guy. This past Wednesday night on NXT, they had Dominic Mysterio on there defending the NXT North American Championship. That's a footnote to the actual story, the success story that took place on NXT Wednesday night. Check this match out. If you haven't seen it, folks, if you're not NXT fans, you can pick it up on the Cock. The Cock is only $5 a month, and that's
it out.
Peacock for those who aren't in the know. You can watch it on the Cock when it finally arrives. Generally, it's like a week's time, I think, or 2 weeks before they update the NXT episodes. But anyway, the son of Wayne the Train Bloom wrestled the son of Rick Steiner,
How about
Wayne
that?
the Train Bloom's archenemy, on NXT this past Wednesday night. Von Wagner versus Braun Breaker, and they drew 844,000 people for their segment, their match on NXT.
No kidding.
Catapulted NXT to 750,000 viewers altogether. They peaked at 844, but when you average it out, they hit 750,000.
Yeah. So let that sink in for a minute. Let that sink in.
Solely because
this is their starting area. This is their minor leagues, and they're putting some serious weight into this brand now.
Yeah.
Triple H wants this to be a serious brand. He wants it to legitimately be the third WWE brand, and they're putting a lot of focus and a lot of money on this and a lot of good storylines right now.
Yep.
Backstage, they claim that the goal is to have NXT do the same number as Dynamite every week.
They're getting close. They're getting
close.
real damn
They're
close.
Getting damn close.
And if Dynamite keeps giving us the shit we had last week, they're going to keep coming down to meet them. They're going to meet them before frickin' they can get the rest of the show up to par.
That's right.
It's not far-fetched in my mind when football starts to see Dynamite in that 800,000 range, because it's going downhill fast. Collision's the better show of the two. There's no debating it. Collision is the better show in the AEW family. It just is.
Absolutely.
It's not debatable. It's the ratings in the AEW or Collision show have climbed every week. The only week they had that wasn't great was SummerSlam, and we said that was going to be a struggle bus. Because when you got SummerSlam on Saturday night, if you're a wrestling fan, what are you going to watch? Really? You're going to watch that?
If there's anyone out there who's seeing this podcast or whatever platform you're seeing it at, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, even if you see it tomorrow, if you come across it and watch it tomorrow, if anyone knows who's actually doing the booking backstage for Collision,
yes, please.
Please let us know.
Oh, man.
Because that's one of the great, closely kept secrets of this planet right now as to who really shot JFK and, is the Earth flat? Did we really put men on the moon?
Yeah.
And, are there little green men in Roswell, New Mexico, in a bunker underground? It's one of the most best kept secrets around. Who's booking AEW Collision? I can't find out. I've looked and looked, and I can't find it.
I've got to know who it is.
I want to know who it is. Someone send us something on Twitter, guys. Here's our handles. Send it to us. Find out, please. Book of the week.
That's all I got for wrestling.
Book of the week. Death of the Territories.
Of the Territories. Tim Hornbaker. Great freaking book. Amazing. If you don't know, even if you're an older cat, but if you're a younger cat and you don't know how the territories got broken up and how it became two big conglomerates at one time, WWF, WCW, read this book, man. Tim Hornbaker did such a great job of this thing. He details it so much that by the time you're done reading it, you know the ins and outs of all the territories that were involved when Vince McMahon took over and started poaching everybody's talent. Great book, excellent read. Go for it.
I'm into chapter 3 there, Motorhead. I got it upstairs. I'm reading that, and I got an audio book going on of the Sheik right now. It's been the Sheik's book has been crazy too, so I'll talk about that here soon.
Is that the one with Brian Solomon?
Yep, that's one with Brian Solomon, man. Love that guy. Love that guy.
Dude. Awesome, dude. Hell yeah.
There's your book. It's available, folks, on Amazon. Death of the Territories. Expansion, betrayal, and the war that changed pro wrestling forever. For decades, distinct professional wrestling territories thrived across North America. Each regionally based promotion operated individually and offered a brand of localized wrestling that greatly appealed to area fans. Promoters routinely coordinated with associates in surrounding regions, and the cooperation displayed by members of the National Wrestling Alliance made it easy for wrestlers to traverse the landscape with the utmost freedom. I'm not going to read the whole summary of this thing. All I know is you can get it through paperback on Amazon right now for $19.95.
Yes, sir.
Kindle, if you're a Kindler out there, if you like to diddle with your Kindle.
Hey, whoa.
$9.99. If you're looking at a picture of Missy Beefcakes, veiny, gelatinous guavas,
we're not going
of
there.
her sweater meat, you've got Kindle, $9.99.
Yes, sir. Don, any bottles? Take us home.
Are we out?
I think Bottles had something else he wanted to talk about.
I thought you had something else, Don. I hear all this talk about Dave Meltzer and star ratings. We cannot ignore Dave Meltzer this week because he's in the goddamn thumbnail. So we have to talk about Dave Meltzer.
I'm going to tell you,
he's in the YouTube thumbnail.
We do have to talk about Dave.
If you see Dave Meltzer on Dark Side of the Ring or in interviews on YouTube or what have you, on any wrestling related, if someone dies, they dig up Dave Meltzer out of his crypt and drag him out in front of a camera, and he talks about briefly on these documentaries about a professional wrestler passed away. Dave Meltzer looks like he's passed away 5 years ago, and he's just slowly rotting away. He's the mummified remains of Dave Meltzer. Dave Mumbles Meltzer. He looks like he's been sprayed with Agent Orange. He looks like he's
herpes. He has herpes on his face.
He's got herpes on his face. Stevie Wonder could read. He could read those pockmarks and warts on Dave Meltzer's face, and it would probably tell you the match results of a New Japan Wrestling card from 1987.
Yes. Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Dirty Dave Meltzer.
You saw it, Motorhead. What was the article you read you were talking about? Because I want to see if you can summarize what you had read.
I will summarize exactly what I read, and I'll send it to you guys. Last night I was a little detained, as you know.
By the police.
Yes. Nice people. But here, so basically, the article states how Dave Meltzer, they took his ratings from like 1983 to 1996. 83 to 96. Now, think about that span of professional wrestling. 83 to 96. There was a lot of goddamn awesome wrestling at that time. Excellent matches, right? Right? Okay.
Right.
Between that time, Meltzer barely, I think between 83 and 86, he gave 5 4-star matches between that time. 5. Not 5-star matches, 4-star matches. And it's like, oh my God. And some of the ones that he critiqued, it's like, you got to be kidding me. And how many has he had, guys, in AEW in the last 3 years? 20-something? 24, 5.
He's the king of the participation trophies. That's what he is.
It is. It's here you go. You try it out. You made the team. Here's your trophy. Even though you sucked ass, didn't make practice. You know, the kids wanted to beat you up. Here's your trophy. Good job. Exactly.
Now, we shouldn't talk that bad about Dave Meltzer because I happen to know for a fact that Don Wayne loves Dave Meltzer.
Don's one of his Thank you.
He from 83 to 86, he saw 8 matches he rated 5 stars. 8.
Yep.
8. And that's span.
86.
And then I'm looking right now. It's just, well, you know, the WWE's not getting any love from this guy. So
none.
I know he's behind a paywall now, and he's hiding behind it, and he doesn't want to get the criticism. And he's got his entire army of Dave Meltzers out there that anytime you criticize anything that's out there, it's, well, Dave Meltzer said it was 5 stars. Dave Meltzer said this was 4.5 stars. The more this guy talks, man, the more the carny he's being exposed to be. Yes. Every time this guy opens his mouth, and he can't finish a sentence. The dude will not finish a sentence. He can't do it. Well, you know, I told the guy that, and you know, the other thing was, and then hold on, and then I saw the Japanese, and then I saw the other guy, and it was a horse fuck. Wait, what?
He fucked a horse.
Yeah.
And then, well, you know, because people do like to watch people fuck a horse, and you know, sometimes you can, you know, it's over in Japan, in some cultures, fucking a horse is actually, well, you know, I think Luthez fucked a horse in a match back with Giant Baba over in Japan. They fucked a horse, and Luthez was behind it. And, you know, it's even though you don't really fuck the horse, you just give the horse a hand job.
I'm looking at his match ratings, by the way, from like 90 to 94 here.
Check it out, Don. Check it out.
Yeah. It's All Japan Wrestling, New Japan Wrestling, All Japan Wrestling, New Japan Wrestling. He gave one match, and of course, Bret Hart gets the 1 5-star match in like that 4-year period. Of course it's Bret Hart, because Bret Hart was a damn stoolie. Bret Hart called Dave Meltzer every time something went wrong, and Bret Hart got boo-boo face, which was something else I was going to say. Bret Hart was asked who was on his Mount Rushmore professional wrestlers during his era. Once again, my man cannot acknowledge Hulk Hogan. He is so butthurt that Hogan would not put him over all these decades later that he refuses to acknowledge what the man meant to his career. Refuses to do it.
Bret Hart is butthurt at his butcher for keeping his thumb on the scale when he ordered a pound of shaved ham at the delicatessen. He's bitter towards that.
Just got attacked by Bret Hart. Look at
he's out. The run in.
Bitch, Bret came and got him.
When he comes back on it, he'll be in the sharpshooter. Are you in the sharpshooter, Don?
There it is. Sharpshooter's in the back. Don. See? There he just talks shit, and there he goes.
Fuck you, Bret. I told you not to come to my house anymore. I don't get it, man.
Larry the Hitman noticed that Motor's got the shades on. That means it's almost time to jet, fellas. Any last words?
No, always great talking to you guys, SCM brothers. Keep the good fight fighting. And, hey, support your old school wrestling fans and old school wrestling.
What do you think, Don?
What are you going to do AEW come football season? What are you going to do?
Good one.
You cannot keep your best wrestling show on Saturday nights. You've got to move that thing, man. You've got to move it. And I don't know where you move it to. Personally, I'd move it to probably Thursdays and just have back-to-back AEW shows. That's what I would do. But then you've got Thursday Night Football. So, again, you're met with that conundrum. You do not want to compete with college football here in a month. You don't want that battle. You don't want it.
No. Bottles?
What are you going to do when the rack of Missy, purple-tipped, blue-veined beefcake runs wild on you? Folks, stick around for our special closing that we have for our show. And we will see you all next week, next Sunday, 4 p.m. right here. Oh, by the way, check us out. Cultivate Wellness. We got to give a little love to the sponsors before we go out the door. Cultivate Wellness for all your CBD, THC needs. They'll ship anywhere in the continental United States. If you go to their website, you can find free coupons, free trials, percentages off, free shipping, things of that nature. Cultivate Wellness. And if you're really feeling bad, if you've got blue, distended, purple-tipped cans, which are tangerine in texture, stop down at St. Petersburg at St. Pete's Rejuvenate in St. Petersburg, Florida. Missy, I know you live in Florida. Slide on down to St. Pete's Rejuvenate, and they will rejuvenate.
Them things are sliding, son.
Slide on down, and they'll rejuvenate. Them
bitches is sliding all the way down to her knees.
They'll rejuvenate that revolting rack that you have hanging off of you. Drop out the cans of cat food from underneath your jugs, the sour balls, the wayward lost pieces of Starburst candy that you couldn't find because you were eating it in bed, and just clean them all up and stop down St. Pete's Rejuvenate for a nice tonic and a massage.
There's lint under them things.
It looks like the floor of a movie theater under our left one, but I won't go into.
Porn theater in Hollywood. Yes.
Marty Jannety killed it, man. That's all I got.
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.